Again, just stretching and prepping for my upper body workout. I'm gonna do some back. And I like to get a good deep stretch before I start. The Triple O Dynasty, just a little bit over a week ago, I guess. It went well. I didn't compete last year, so it was my first one back after a few months of being off, so it was successful. Didn't get the nod that I wanted for the Olympia. I got first place in Masters and second place in the Open category, which is the one that qualifies you for Olympia. So I was disappointed in that because I thought I brought one of the best packages I've ever to the stage. So I'm very proud of that. But wasn't quite what the judges were looking for, I guess, for the first place. So I'm going to be doing another one in a few short weeks. So I'm back on the grind, prepping for that now. Just a little bit under 4 weeks. Yeah, so it is pretty close. So I have some work to do, just to sharpen up. I mean, most of the work is already done. I just gotta fine tune and get some details and stuff. In May, we're going to Pittsburgh. I think the last time I did one this close together was maybe back in 2018. But typically I have a few weeks to kind of prep for stuff. This one is pretty tight. So again, the work is done. I basically just have to dial it in again and peak again for that show. So not really worried about it. But it can take a toll on you. When you're doing too many shows back to back, it can be very exhausting. When you're too tired and too overwhelmed going into shows, sometimes it takes away from what your performance on stage and how your body presents. So I don't want to put myself through too much stress. So I'm gonna hopefully get a chip for this one, and then I can kind of relax a bit and coast into going into the Olympia, because I will be on that stage this year. Mark my word. Watch. I'm trying to avoid doing too many heavy rows. So I'm going to be doing a series of lat pull downs. So a bunch of different variations, single arms, wide grip, close grip, maybe 1 or 2 exercises of rows. But most of my back training now is just going to be a lot of pull downs. Starting with some circular lat pull downs. The last prep was probably one of the best I've ever had, as far as just mental focus and getting my body to do what I wanted it to do at the right time. So I'm hopeful that this year will continue to be smooth sailing going into whatever competition I'm doing, because it does take a toll on you. I have a coach who's always control the controllables. So anything that is out of your control, there's no need to stress over it. The things that are within your control, your diet, your food, your training, your mental state, these things you can control. All the other noise outside of that is none of your concern. So when you start worrying about all that stuff, that's when you start bottling up things inside, right? I rested last year, and I think starting out this year, I was in a better mental place to start prep. And it was one of those things where I'm not gonna worry about the things that I can't change. I'm just gonna focus on the goal. Your mind plays tricks on you. Sometimes I look at myself and I think, oh my God, I look so small. And then there are days that I look at myself and I'm like, holy shit, who is this chick? Anyway, and it's all perspective, right? Sometimes you're standing next to someone else who doesn't have as much muscle, and you're like, holy shit, I'm huge. And then you're standing next to someone who's got a little bit more muscle, and you're like, I gotta put some muscle on, Jesus.
Broken side, you can break me down. Just know I'll rise one day. I'm singing still we rise.
My coach had a discussion with a couple of the judges, and it was basically sharpen up your posing. So there wasn't necessarily critique on my physique. I got the wow, she has that wow factor when she walks on stage, but we got to tighten up the posing. So I'm like, okay, which makes me happy, because it's nothing physical that I have to, oh, you've got to work on your legs, you've got to work on, because if you listen to some of the critiques that you hear, on other athletes, they'll specifically give you points. You got to bring up your back, you got to do this, you got to work on your glutes, you got to work on, right? So for me, it was just, to tighten up our posing. Your posing is equally as important as your training in my books, because if you can have the best physique ever, you get on stage and your posing is crap, they're not going to see the true beauty of what you've created. You know what I mean? So it's always important to make sure that behind the scenes you're working on that stuff, because it's equally important. That's your presentation. That's your chance to show off months and months of hard work and months of blood, sweat, and tears, and you get up there and you screw it up because of your posing, then that's on you. So I will take that critique and I will use it as fuel to make sure that I sharpen up those things that they've asked me to. And hopefully that will be enough to get me the win and get me to the Olympia stage. I have to say, the one thing about this show that I really liked that I've never experienced was the fact that there wasn't a huge break in between pre-judging and then finals. So we were able to get on stage. Show started at 10 o'clock. I think we wrapped up by like 2:33. But it was, you do your finals, they had all the categories. The women's went on first, men's were on, and then they had us go back on for finals. There was no big gap in between. And then by the time we were done, early afternoon, we could go out and enjoy the rest of our day without having to worry about, okay, I can't eat this, I can't eat that because I got to get back for finals. So it's nice knowing that we were able to just wrap it all up early in the day, and then you could just basically relax and coast for the rest of the day. It would be nice if all the shows were ran like that. I know it's not possible all the time because there's so many athletes, so you can't actually fit it all in just only a short few hours. It definitely takes a whole lot of strain off of you and stress, and it makes for a much shorter day, and you're a lot less exhausted at the end of the day. But it was very well run, very well organized. You know, Sid, Whitney, Andrea, and Natalia, they all did an exquisite job putting the show together for women, by women, celebrating women. And it was really an honor to be a part of such a great event. So I'm looking forward to maybe next year doing it again. Really, really, really well organized show. Don't you get tired of competing? Don't you want to like do something else? Or, and it's not that I plan on doing this forever, because none of us can do this forever. But it's something that I enjoy doing. It gives me an opportunity to set a goal for myself and to not just achieve it, but to crush those goals. So for me, at my age, and I've been asked many times what my age is, so I'm going to disclose my age because I'm very proud of how old I am doing this still. So I'm actually turning 50 in November. My camera guy says, oh, wow. Yeah, so I'm turning 50, and for me to still be able to do it at this age, and there's women that are older than me doing it, but for me to be able to do it at this age and to look and have my skin look the way it does and stand next to girls who are in their 20s and 30s and be competitive, it gives me a huge boost to my, I guess, ego, or my, I'm very proud of myself. So until my body says, no, you're not doing this anymore, I'm going to keep doing it, because I think I have all the tools to do it and do well. And until I feel like I'm ready to do something else, this is what I'm going to be doing. So to answer the question, I will stop when I'm ready to stop. So until then, get ready to see a lot of Maggie shaking her thing on stage. But yes, proudly turning 50. But when you train and when you take care of yourself and you eat healthy and you make fitness part of your lifestyle, it's like, finding your own fountain of youth. So I say it to everyone who's out there who thinks that age has some kind of determining factor as to how active you should be, or when you should stop lifting, or if you should lift at all after a certain age. The answer is, age is just a number. Get out there and do it. In fact, we need to do it now more than ever, because we need to maintain our bone density. We need to maintain our quality of health. As we get older, things start breaking down. So if you're not doing anything to continue to strengthen those things, they're going to go very quickly. So it is imperative that we maintain some kind of active lifestyle. It may not be in the gym lifting heavy. It's never too late to start. There's no time like the present.
Yeah, that was such a long road.
I keep getting a lot of feedback from a lot of women my age and some younger that, oh, I can't do that anymore, I'm too old for that, or I can't lift the way I used to because I'm too old for that. And it's like, you're putting limits on yourself that don't need to be there because of your age. I feel the need to put it out there, not because I think it's anybody's business, but because I think it's necessary for women to see that even at 50, I'm still pushing hard I'm still looking youthful, and I'm going to be doing it for a very long time to come, God's willing. So don't be limited by your age. You know, there's no greater feeling than feeling strong and able-bodied. To me, the more I can do, the older I get, the better it is for me. I don't need somebody to carry my bags. If they want to, that's fine, but not because I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people who struggle with a lot of things that we take for granted, and I'm going to try to ward off those things as long as I can, just by being active and taking care of myself, eating healthy, being positive, surrounding myself with positive people who support what I do and who encourage me in what I do. It's so important to do this and do it with purpose, because trust me, the alternative is not good. There's a lot of people who wish they could just get up in the morning and just walk, down the hallway, or just like stand up and not feel like they're going to fall over. So for us to be able to do it, we have to be so grateful, so grateful.
I can hear them coming, riding up the road.
I wouldn't change what I do for the world. I love competing. I love being in the fitness world. It opens you up to meeting a lot of great people. Some of them I think will be lifelong friends, but it really does open you up to such a huge base or family of people who are like-minded, who are supportive. There were some really amazing women at this last show that we were at, and I thought, you know what? This is probably one of the best shows that I've been to, where everyone was nice to each other. Yes, we were competitors, and yes, we're all competing against each other for first place, but they were also very kind, and people were excited to meet. Oh my gosh, I follow you on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I'm finally getting to meet you. So it was just nice to be in an atmosphere where women were supporting women. Athletes were just being supportive when they saw someone else doing well. I wouldn't change that for the world. And I wish more individuals would be like that just in general when you go out to these shows. And I recognize that not everyone's going to be that way, but it would be nice. It would be nice. In my perfect little world, it would just be all of us supporting each other and being kind. And I've had some cattiness backstage. I've seen some really nasty behavior backstage. I want everybody to be on stage. I want all the competition to be on stage. Absolutely. A bunch of people up there. I want us to be doing turns forever, because they really need to figure out who's the winner here. And if it comes down to a dogfight and you win, then I feel like, oh yeah, I freaking earned that, because I had to really work for that. There's nothing more rewarding than that for me. So that's what I want. I don't want to be, injuring girls or breaking their stuff or stealing their stuff just because I feel like it gives me an edge. It's bad sportsmanship. I don't like it. If everyone's happy and everyone looks good, I feel good, and it makes us all shine on stage.
I take it step by little till we make it to the river, or it's all but gone. Can you hear them coming? Getting really close now. The judgment day is calling, and I repented all my sins. I'm ready for the march, the deep water floods, because I know I'm not alone there.
My ab combination that I usually do, and sometimes I'll start my workout with it just to get a warm up. I'll do leg raises on the decline bench and then sit-ups back to back. So 20 and 20 for like 3 sets. And then that way I get my upper and my lower abs.
Just know I'll rise one day. I'm singing, still we rise. Still we rise again. Still we
Like those are really amazing as far as getting upper and lower. I have some work to do. You 100% need to train your abs, 100%. And you can usually tell the people who actually focus on training their abs and the people who don't. You want strong, defined abs. They're muscle. So just like everything else, you need to get that dense fullness in the muscle. There are certain exercises I wouldn't recommend doing, like anything that's going to add mass to expand your waistline. I would avoid doing. So any kind of crunching with weights on the side. You want to always do more twisting and lengthening of the muscle as opposed to bulking and adding mass. But 100%, yes, you need to train your abs. And I don't mean plank. I'm talking about rope pull downs, leg raises, ab crunches, things that are going to literally give you the opportunity to flex and expand the muscle. So you're going to have a lot of different reviews on it, but you can usually tell the people who actually do put work into training their abs. You're going to get those dense, thick, six-pack, muscular, full-looking abs, or you're going to get a flat stomach with no definition, right? So You can have a strong core without having bricks, but I like to see definition. I like to see bricks, so I definitely recommend training them. They're built in the gym, they're maintained in the kitchen, right? If you want to see, obviously, definition, definitely you're going to have to tweak your diet. Because if you're eating garbage and training abs, you're not going to see where it offsets that work. You're going to build them in here, and then what you put in your body outside will determine whether or not they show, right? So if you're a little bit more lean, you're going to see them better, so you have to change your diet in order to get that level of leanness. If you clean up your diet, you're going to see them more, but you do have to build them in order for you to see a six-pack, 100%. There are some people who naturally have abs showing all the time, and I call those people blessed. Just like there are people who always have like nice toned arms without really putting any effort into it, and that's all genetics. But I also think that over time, with the aging process, these things that, you know, as you're younger and you used to see, you know, the abs popping, eventually over time, after children, with age, they'll start to disappear on you. So you have to work towards keeping them, right? I've had friends who said, oh, I never used to work out. I don't have to, I always have. But then as they got older, it's like, oh yeah, now there's little rolls here and there showing. So it just goes to show that if you're not doing what you need to do, you're not going to be able to maintain it. My mindset is always try to do better for the next one. Try to improve on something for the next one. So my posing will be my focus to tighten up, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling optimistic. Obviously the judges saw something. I got second place and it was like the difference of 1 point. So I believe that if I continue on the path that I'm on as far as improvement goes, I think it's only a matter of time before I get to my goal. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very optimistic going into this one. Every single pro athlete who's out there getting on stage, every single one of us want to get to the Olympia stage. I've had the pleasure of doing it once. It's almost like you get a taste of it, you want more. And there's no other stage like it in the world. And so yes, that's my mission, to get back there, but to also do a lot better than I did on the first one. You know, I got 15th in the world on the first one. And for my first showing, I was very proud of that. But I know that's not my best. You know what I mean? So I know there's so much more in the tank to put out there. And I think my placing can and will be better. So that's my goal, to work towards that. And the only way to do that is to get the opportunity to get back up there and show them. That's the mission. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that I'll get the chip sooner rather than later, so I can have the time to really fine tune things for the Olympia. I'm not looking past this one until I'm gonna take one at a time. Yeah, if I worry about 3 shows down the line, then I'm not going to be focused on the one that I need to focus on. So I take it one day at a time, one show at a time. I'll see where this one goes and I'll adjust accordingly if I need to. So once I get this one under my belt, then we'll decide what we're prepping for. It's going to either be for the Olympia stage or for whatever else that comes, but I'm not thinking beyond that at this point. I can only control the controllables, just the things that are in my control. So right now, that's the one, exactly. That's the one I can really focus on, and that's the one I'm working towards right now.